brings you to D.C.?
To show support to my people, to the Palestinian people who Sharon is killing, to the innocent people. He did massacre in Jenin and Ramallah and Tul Karim and everywhere. I want everybody, especially the American people, to know, to find out how is our tax money going to buying, sending weapons to kill our innocent people. Right. So please, everybody help our people, our children. Give them a chance. Give us a chance to live in peace. We need our peace. We need to stay free. That's not too much to ask.
Okay, so they get
B1 group يا شباب ها؟
Have to be very clear on what we demand. We are not going to be. That's the message. That's the message that we have to send people. And we also demand reparation to the Arab people for the
What brings you to D.C.?
Well, I come to demonstrate for the Palestinian to ensure that they become free like everybody else, to gain their rights, and to end the occupation which lasted for 35 years, which is a very oppressive occupation, to end the war against the Palestinians, and to have the rights. I think the Iraqi people deserve to be also freed from sanction, and to not have this oppressive sanction which has lasted for about 10 years now.
What brings you to D.C.?
Same reason everybody's here, to help support the Palestinians in Palestine.
I believe in defending democracy, and the only way that you can defend democracy is by being vigilant. That's why I'm here.
What do you think of what's happening in Palestine?
Oh, I think it's horrible. And I think that all wars are horrible. And that you don't stop wars by participating in wars.
I'd just like to say that this terrorism has to stop, the real terrorism. There's no excuse for us sending money to Israel to kill children and run over 7-year-olds with tanks. That's not a self-defense. That is just an occupation, and it has to stop. Thank you.
هذا شاب كبير الله يخليك.
Free, free Palestine! 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 Oh, the occupation has to go, hey, hey! Oh, the occupation has to go, hey, hey! Oh, the occupation has to go, hey!
I'm here today to protest the illegal occupation of Palestine and also to draw attention to the absolute disproportionate and biased media coverage of the Israelis as they go in and kill women and children and snipe people in their own streets because they go out after curfew. And just 35 years of incredible brutal occupation of someone's own homeland by Israeli backed by the American tax dollars. That's why I'm here.
Equals Sharon equals Hitler. They need to stop killing of the children. The media needs to stop bringing the truth.
Israelis are killing innocent children in Palestine, and this isn't fair to Muslims, and we wish Palestine will be free.
Would you like to say something?
My wife and I and the baby. My wife and I are still right there. We came from Cincinnati, Ohio, to Washington today to voice our opinion against the aggression that the Palestinians are going through these days, and to tell the U.S. government that enough is enough, like George Bush said. But I mean, Israel and Sharon, they're not listening, even though Bush told them to withdraw, but still, they're still massacring the people over there, whether they're children, women, old people, it doesn't matter. Christians, Muslims, I mean, it's like a big genocide going on right now over there as we stand right here. And so we're here to voice our opinion and to tell the American people to search for the truth. Because most of the time it's the media that we have here, it's one-sided. They focus more on the pro-Israeli side, and you hardly hear about the Palestinians victims. It's as if like the Palestinian blood is cheap. It's as if like Palestinians are no humans. They're like from a different race or something like that.
What do you say when people talk about the suicide bombing?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because right now it looks like everybody's talking about the suicide bombing as if the problem now is suicide bombing. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about suicide bombing as if that's the root of the problem. That's not the root of the problem. We need to talk about the root of the problems. That's what we need to be focusing on. You know what I'm saying? Right now everybody's focusing, and that's the politicians, they know how they play. They're focusing like on one aspect of the problem, like one of the small aspects of the problem. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. Once we solve the occupation problem, that's the root of the problem. Once we solve that problem, then we don't have any other things. We don't have any resistance or anything like that. As long when the Palestinians get their free land, when the Palestinians live as free people with their land, they won't have any other problems. And that's what we need to stand for. That's the real issue. The real issue is occupation, not suicide bombing.
I am here to let the world know how biased America is against the Palestinian. We're here, we're American, we pay taxes, and all the tax money that we pay here, it goes to Israel to kill us and our relative in Palestine. It's not fair. Whoever in the White House all along, we've been treated always as a second-class citizen, whether we're here or in Palestine. We never get the aid that Israel gets, and we should understand that killing is not right, whether from one side or another. But the reason that there is killing there, it's the occupation. Occupation is wrong. Nobody should take the right of anybody. How would you feel if I come to your house and let you get out of your house? I have the right of it. I have to live in it. How would you feel about that? Now, and then, okay, sit and watch me enjoying your house, enjoying your belonging. And while you're sitting and watching, you should keep quiet. You can't even say to the world that's wrong. And we have no other way except these suicide bombers. It's wrong, but that's the only way. That's the only outlet that we can let the world know we're under occupation. We have no education. The universities has been closed for the whole last year. There is no food, there is no economy there. This is wrong. You guys, wake up. In America, wake up and just understand, educate your kids, understand why there is war there, understand why there is no equality on treating Israelis and Palestinians. Once you're educated about the foreign policy, then you can decide whether Israel is right or wrong. And Sharon, excuse me, Mr. President, Sharon is the only terrorist. Sharon committed massacres twice. Once in Lebanon, and this is the second time in Geneva. Mr. President, excuse me, you're wrong when you say Sharon is the peace man or whatever he is. Sharon is a terrorist. He is #1 terrorist in my eyes.
victims, Palestinian people. And I am against Sharon because he killed like Hitler. He's exactly like Hitler. I am going to tell him, Sharon, your bloody history is really, really going to be remembered. And you're not going to get away with this. Sooner or later, you're not going to get away with this.
I am here in solidarity of the Palestinians' right to self-determination. I think the killing has to stop, that U.S. involvement has to discontinue. We are sanctioning murder. We are sanctioning genocide. If this continues, this is a war crime of the greatest magnitude, and it has to end. I'm with a group from Pittsburgh, Palestinian Coalition of Solidarity. The banner that I'm holding is a list of people who have been killed in the Second Intifada from September to January. It's not a complete list. The names in red are the names of children under the age of 18.
We're here in support of the Palestinian people, and the fact that they're being massacred daily is the reason that we're here. We are American, and we're for peace, and we're for justice, and America should listen to us and understand that that is what we're here for.
We're here to promote peace. We see our Palestinian brothers and sisters slaughtered on TV each and every day by the Israeli army. We want to do something about it. I mean, we live in this country that preaches freedom, so I mean, we have the freedom to stop something that's going on here.
Why are you here?
Because our taxes are given to Israel to kill Palestinians, like what happened in Jenin. All the weapons that was used was paid by the American taxpayers. That's all what I have to say. We have to stop funding such terrorist acts.
We are here to protest against war, especially in Palestine. I mean, what's happening there is totally against humanity, basically. I mean, and our tax dollars are being given to a government which is spreading state terrorism, and that's not acceptable. We are equally United States citizens as anybody else, and we have an equal say in this. And we'd like to, stop what's going on, and we'd like to see an end to this state terrorism, sponsored terrorism by Israel towards the Palestinian people.
I just want to say enough is enough, and it has to be stopped immediately, please, and stop sending our tax dollars over there. That's it. Thank you.
I'm a Basque. I'm a freedom fighter since thousands of years back. So I'm an anti-war, and I love peace, and everybody is entitled for and entitled to. So I must be here, because otherwise I will forgive myself not being here at this point, because the way things are all over the world. It's a disaster, and it's a shame, and this country should be doing something much better than this. First, take out all these gangsters in the politics, ruling class that we have, and secondly, be aware, get conscious, get to work all together. That's all.
I'm here in solidarity with the Palestinian people because as someone of African ancestry, we had our Holocaust, and we're constantly going through Holocaust. It might not be as severe as the one our ancestors originally went through, but we're still suffering every day. And there's no way we as African people can differentiate the struggle of our people and the struggle of the Palestinian people. It's one and the same, and it's from the same people. So this is why I'm here today. I'm just here to lend my support.
I think that there should be peace. Everybody should get together on both sides. And we at Sharon, we're not in charge of our foreign policy, and I don't believe in invading Iraq.
We should be impartial as the largest, as the biggest superpower, as the only superpower, and we should do what we preach: justice for all. Right now there's a massacre, genocide in Palestine. I think we as Americans with conscience should stop it. If we don't stop this genocide and injustice, one day it's going to haunt us. It's going to haunt our generations. It's going to demoralize us. We should stand for what we believe in. Right now we are a hypocrite. And this occupation must stop. Israel has a right to exist within its secure boundaries, and the Palestinians also have a right to exist with dignity. Right now the genocide and the destruction brought up on the Palestinians is just unconscionable, unbelievable, and it's a disgrace to the United States, which is a champion of human rights and humanity.
What brings you to D.C.?
What brings me to D.C. is to protest against U.S. imperialist war around the world in Afghanistan and their aid for the regional imperialism of Israel in the Middle East, and their backing, United States backing for Israeli imperialist attempts to crush Palestine and wipe out that nation.
What's your opinion of Ariel Sharon?
Ariel Sharon is a butcher who has rarely bothered to veil his belief that Jews in Israel should overrun all of Palestine, kick the Palestinians out, and make all of that territory, other people's land, into a Jewish nation. He said in the past, and he's never taken it back, Jordan is Palestine. In other words, that the Palestinians should be expelled, forced out into Jordan over the river.
What's your opinion of the suicide bombing strategy that certain Palestinians are involved in?
I don't think it's a very good tactic. I think that a desperate people against one of the world's great military powers, Israel, are driven to that kind of tactic. I think that the young people, self-sacrificing young people who are doing this, could actually have a much better effect waging war against the Israeli military if they live to fight another day. I think there are ways to fight to defend yourself, and where necessary in self-defense, to kill the enemy before they kill you, if, as I say, you don't blow yourself up in the course of your military activity. I also think that it's ill-advised to make this into an attack on Israeli civilians, although the entire Zionist nation, Israel, is engaged in occupying Palestine. I do think it would be easier to win over some number of Israelis if this were not seen as a war on Israeli civilians. But final point on this, when it comes to the Israeli police, the Israeli army, and the suicide bombers from Palestine, I defend the suicide bombers in Palestine trying in a distorted fashion to win their independence, to win their freedom. I defend them against Israeli imperialism.
What do you foresee for the future?
I'm relatively optimistic. That is, I foresee for the future something that's already starting to happen, not just the Palestinian uprising, but an uprising in various Arab nations all around the region of workers and peasants. I think that the people going into the streets against Palestine, in favor of Palestine, against Israel, in Egypt, in Bahrain, in Jordan, in Syria, I think this is one of the few ways they can express their desires not only to help their fellow Arabs in Palestine, but also a way to express their dissatisfaction with their own authoritarian governments, many of which are bought and paid for by the United States. Take Saudi Arabia, take Jordan, take Egypt. And this is bound to go over into a rebellion, a revolution against these governments throughout the region. It will not automatically take a victorious course. That can only happen in Palestine and in the rest of the region if the working class steps to the fore. And the most conscious workers have to take the lead in showing the way forward, convincing their fellow workers that the way forward is socialist revolution. This they can only do by building a revolutionary party of Arab workers with sections in each country, a Palestinian Revolutionary Workers' Party, an Egyptian Revolutionary Workers' Party, and so on, but unified internationally.
Do you want to give your name of the organization that you're involved in?
Sure. My name is Eric Josephson, and I'm a supporter of the League for the Revolutionary Party. I'm also a transit worker in New York City and a member of Transport Workers Union Local 100. I'm actually vice chair of the track division. Unfortunately, my union is not here in an official capacity. I'm not here representing my union. I wish I could be. But the union leadership in this country, dependent as it is on the Democratic Party, the anti-working class Democratic Party, tends either to support Israel or not to criticize Israel. So the leadership of the American trade unions are part of this problem, as they are of so many problems of workers trying to fight for their freedom here and around the world.
That when they drop the bombs on Palestinian people and smash the homes and the hospitals, that they're hurting us here too. But because they are our brothers and sisters over there, and because that money being spent for genocidal murder is money that should be spent to build schools and build hospitals, not to tear them down.
Day before yesterday, President Bush called Ariel Sharon a man of peace. That's like calling Mother Teresa Adolf Hitler. Ariel Sharon has killed so many people, not just this year. His entire historical political resume is one of a terrorist against the Palestinian people.
Arabs and Muslims here, but we're Christians like myself, and we're black people. There's no more blood money out of taxpayers in the United States for Israel. Dignity and have respect. Oh God, brothers and sisters, you will, we will, all of us will rise up again with a new power and a vigor for justice. God bless you.
Hermanas y hermanos,
Brothers and sisters,
en nombre del pueblo cubano,
in the name of the Cuban people,
que ha sufrido 40 años de injusto bloqueo de parte del gobierno de los Estados Unidos,
who have suffered a 40-year unjust economic blockade by the United States,
declaramos ¡viva la resistencia del pueblo palestino!
Down with the blockade!
Free, free Palestine! ¡Venceremos!
We will win!
Right behind me is the picture that mainstream media won't show you. They don't want you to see this. These are our Orthodox Jewish brothers from New York who came to stand. They came on their Sabbath to be with us. They came before the Sabbath. They were here.
وهي هذه الكلمة الصحيحة اللي هم ضحكوا علينا عشان كده فعلا هذه just one way كده حتخرج الله سمح
You going to march?
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. What's the name of this group? Nature Carta. Nature Carta. You're out of New York, right? Brooklyn? Brooklyn, Westchester County, Rockland County.
What's our dignity worth? You can't buy it. What's our dignity worth? It's not for sale. If you put it on a scale, our dignity will prevail. You can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. What's our struggle worth? You can't buy it. No, 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 no. What's our struggle worth? It's not for sale. If you put it on a scale, our struggle will prevail. You can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. What's our friendship worth? You can't buy it. No, no. What's our friendship worth? It's not for sale. If you put it on a scale, our friendship will prevail. You can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. What's our unity worth? You can't buy it. No, no. What's our unity worth? It's not for sale. If you put it on a scale, our unity will prevail. You can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. No, can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. Unity can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. Friendship can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. Struggle can't buy it 'cause it's not for sale. Dignity can't buy it 'cause it's not for
woke up this morning, wonder what kind of tracks we'll make today. Running food and supplies out through resistance, people clinging to their native ways. Spent the night in Tuba City, they made some room there on the floor. And before the sun comes up, we'll be headed out the door. Because a woman told us it's a long way to Sand Springs. And we're not sure if anybody's out there anymore. Sand Springs. The people are getting tired. It's been 25 long years of war. Lights in Las Vegas and shut down the power in LA. Leave the cold and Black Mesa, revive the beauty. Take your foot off the neck of the suffering. Take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. Take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. Again I say, take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. It's a long way to T-Stone. They're hanging tough there at Star Mountain. At 95, Grandma sat in the dirt on Thanksgiving Day. That's the same dirt she sat in when she was 16 and she ran toward the light of a new day. That's the same dirt her grandma sat in. And that's the same sun coming up on Blue Canyon. As it was before Peabody Coal, as it was before Standard Oil, as it was before the relocation. Yeah. And the old woman's eyes, they look right through me. They told me more than words can say. Very deep in the mother. Revive the beauty way. And take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. Take your big fat booty foot. Take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. And step off the neck of the sufferers. Take your foot off the neck of the sufferers. Take your foot off the neck of the sufferers.
love.